everybody, this is Dianne Devitt. With me today is Paul Neuman, Chief Inspiration Officer for Neuman's Kitchen. Welcome to Heads Up, where we learn and explore different facets of the events industry. Today, Paul, we want to learn a little bit more about you. You've been with us a couple of times, sharing about Neuman's Kitchen and catering and food trends and on trends and what inspires you, and also your food service business with the different convention and conference centers. You're such a, and I want to say icon in the right way in this industry because of your family history, 4 generations. So what are your perspectives on food as medicine? You're an artist, Paul.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm a holistic person. What are you thinking?
Well,
What do you
when
think?
I hear food and health, I see the trends, I see the questions we get when people are calling to talk about an event that they're planning. I have people who are not, they have nut allergies or they're gluten-free.
Right.
So what we're doing is constantly adapting the food to make sure that anyone coming to the event with any preference or health requirement will come away from the event feeling like they've been taken care of. So that's critical to us.
It's critical to everybody, and I say this to you because I've always had a passion for food. I was one of the first event planners, and I'm going back years, when you worked with a hotel and the hotel director of catering would say, no, we planned the best menu, Dianne, and it would be, I'd say, oh no, that's great, what is it? Crab legs, lobster, shrimp, and I would say, and clams, the oyster. I'd say, well, where's the salad? Where's the vegetable?
Right.
Where's my pasta? I have to have a little bit of something. And I remember urging them to put a tray of spinach out at this one event, and they fought me on it, and it was gone.
Right.
So, but nowadays, because the whole aspect of food is brain food,
Right.
I have worked with people who have specialized in this area where I brought them in, like, for example, to McCormick Place Conference Center at a big, huge conference, and the chef designed the menu, and this food expert came in and sort of upped the ante to brain food.
Right.
Do you get that?
We don't. That's not something we're getting now, but we are getting more and more requests for healthy and conscientious. One of the interesting things about our business is when we're feeding a conference center, there's a broad demographic range of where the people are from and what they want.
Oh.
So we have some where it really skews towards like not so healthy mashed potatoes and meatloaf. And that's what they want because they know their audience.
Right.
So if we serve the same food to that company or organization as we do to an upscale conference center, it's not going to work. So we really need to identify, and we watch this very carefully. So we monitor what's left over just as much as we monitor what was eaten and when, so that we have an idea and a finger on the pulse of what people want. Because the most important thing we can do as we take care of a client for a day, a week, a month, or a decade is to really get good at understanding what their guests are eating. So we've had a conference center we've been servicing for over 20 years. We've evolved with them, and we've anticipated things and introduced them to things that we thought would be trending to get them ahead of the curve. At the same time, we're busy reacting.
Acknowledging.
When they're saying, we really would like to change the sandwiches. Well, we'll go back to our bakeries, we'll bake things ourselves, we'll change the breads. We now have the ability to smoke and cure in our new place. So we're doing our own briskets, we're doing our own pork shoulders. So we're sort of constantly both reacting to the inputs that our clients are giving us and anticipating what we think they're going to really like based on what they've had before.
Because it's so interesting and it's so psychological, right? And
tremendous.
But I think that also what I'm very happy about is that in the meetings industry specifically, that this has come to the forefront because when you're in charge of a menu, as I've been, as you've been, always, for 2,000 people for 3.5 days, or 12 people for 3.5 days, right?
Exactly.
I always took that responsibility really seriously and balanced it because it was a personal passion of mine, right? And of course, I'm the type that will eat a salad for a lunch and then have to have some candy
Cookies.
in the afternoon.
A big
Isn't
chocolate
that a
chip
balance?
cookie.
Like that's how I balance my life.
That's my balance
But
diet.
but I want my cookie to have honey, not sugar.
Right.
All right, that's like I am.
There you go.
I am not. I am aware of
Right.
that. But anyway, I just think more and more people are realizing what the effects of protein, carbohydrates, fats are.
Right.
We need them all, but how to use them the better for the outcome of the meeting. You know, with
That's
like
right.
you said, with respect, because then we go back to comfort foods and the psychological need for those as well.
And right now,
I was
the need
gonna
for
ask
comfort. I
It's
think.
great, right?
Well, it's great
It's
because
growing, I should say.
there is a sense of uncertainty
Right, exactly.
pervading our psychologies, especially on the coasts.
Yes, exactly.
We have a political situation that's making us nervous and uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
We revert back to macaroni and cheese and meatloaf and mashed potatoes and, in my case, salmon and lobsters and everything I grew up with, you know, growing up
You
in a
want the
fish
comfort
market.
food.
We want something familiar.
Mm-hmm.
We feel like the ground is shifting a little bit under us. We want at least our meals to represent something recognizable. And, you know, emotionally, the food we grew up with is very important to us. And psychologically, to go back to something mom made or dad made that you know from your childhood is very comforting.
It's extremely comforting, and there's a real, you know, and you know this. I mean, you know the old chicken soup.
Yeah.
There is a real truth
Mm-hmm.
to when you're sick and having chicken soup, especially the one that smelled like what your grandmother or mother
Right.
made, right? Because that was made with love, and
Right.
and there is a whole science to that psychology. So, what you did mention this before, but what is the most common question that you get asked by your clients?
How much does it cost?
Yeah, of course, right? I love the idea, Paul, but just how much?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. I mean, we deal with such a broad range. It's really, I mean, the question we ask, the most important question we ask with any client is, what do you want a guest who's leaving your event and getting on the elevator to say about the event? That's really what we want to know.
Right.
We want to know what you want your guests to say when they're picking up their coat at coat check, they're getting into a cab, or they're getting on the elevator. We're trying to get to the emotional
moment.
impact, because what we say about what we do is we're not really cooking or catering. We're helping you communicate. We're helping you tell your story to an audience. So a company that's feeding their employees every day is really saying, thank you for working with the company. We appreciate it. We want to feed and nourish you. A company that's talking to prospective clients is hiring us to establish a level of quality in the food to say, if you choose to work with us, if you allow us to become part of your world, the work we do will be at the same level as the food. So they use us as a sort of culinary megaphone, as a way to get their message across. We've been doing an event for 5 or 6 years now. It's a post-investor conference event at Lincoln Center. And the messaging there is, thank you for attending the conference. Thank you for doing business with us. Thank you for listening to the seminars and the speakers, and enjoy the food. Welcome. It's a big hug from the company to these 1,100 people.
You know, Paul, that is the crux of everything, right? Food, family, and faith. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah.
Because when you sit around a table, there is nothing better than communicating with someone. And I think what's coming out is through what you've just said with your passion for it, is that food is a message, and food is a language, and it says I love you, or it says I don't have time for you.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
And then it also, from a personal point of view, how much do you love me, and are you going to take care of me, right?
Correct.
So in your presentation and in the catering of it all, and in what it is, what is served on, right? Down to the tabletop and the tableware.
Every detail.
Every little detail relays a message, and what you've shared with us, which is so wonderful, is that process of engagement, which is to me so critical, that people should understand that food is a language.
Mm-hmm.
It's a language of the heart. Food nurtures us at its very core. It nurtures us, and it is the one thing we have to do together. We all have to eat for sustenance, right?
Right.
And so it really was, that was special. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
the
for coming today.
opportunity.
Thanks,
It was
Paul.
really my
Appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank
Let's
you.
eat now.
I know.
All
What do you
right.
got?
Thank you.